Good morning, students. Welcome to Physics Online Classes. Today we are going to discuss Vectors and Scalars Part 1. The main objectives of today's lesson are: describe the difference between vector and scalar quantities and give example of each. Combine two coplanar vectors at any angle to each other by drawing and at right angles to each other by calculation. Vectors and scalars. Physical quantities are classified according to their magnitude and direction. They are classified as scalars and vectors. The quantities which has only magnitude or magnitude is sufficient enough to explain such quantities are known as scalars. For example, distance, speed, time, etc. Then vectors, the quantities which has both magnitude and direction. Here, besides the magnitude, we have to specify the direction as well. For example, displacement. If a ball moves 5 meter, then we can specify it as it traveled a distance of 5 meter. But if we specify the direction, that means 5 meter towards right. That means we specified the direction as well. Then we will tell that quantities as displacement. Examples for vectors and scalars. Here two columns are given. One column consists of some of the scalar quantities and another column consists of some of the vector quantities. Scalar quantities are listed as distance, speed, mass, time, density, electric potential, energy, work, pressure, temperature, volume, and electric charge. Vector quantities are displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, weight, electric field, magnetic field, gravitational field, torque, momentum, angular velocity, and impulse. Representation of vectors. A vector is represented by a straight line with an arrow at one end as shown in figure. Direction of the arrow represents the direction of the vector and the length of the line represents the magnitude of the vector. Here in diagram A, three vectors are given. The first vector shows the direction towards northeast. The second vector shows the direction towards south. And the third vector shows the direction towards east. In the diagram B, three vectors are given. These three vectors are equal to each other. Since they are parallel vectors, their direction is same. Since the length of these three vectors are same, then their magnitude is also same. So these three vectors are equal to each other. Then negative vector. Two vectors that have the same magnitude but are opposite to each other in direction are the negatives of one another. Here vector A and vector minus A, both the vectors have the same length. Their magnitude is same but they are in opposite direction. Then we can treat these two vectors are negative vector. Example of a vector representation. A javelin is thrown into air at an initial velocity of 30 meters per second and 50 degrees to the horizontal ground. It is represented as follows. First we have to draw a horizontal line and then we have to mark using protractor 50 degree and we have to draw a vector with velocity of 30 meters per second. For that we have to take proper measurement. For that in scale we have to make 1 centimeter is 5 meter per second. So we had to draw 6 centimeter. That means 6 into 5 meter per second, that is 30 meter per second. This way we can represent vector. Vector addition. Resultant vector. Resultant of two or more vectors is a single vector which produces the same effect in both magnitude and direction. Then rules for adding vectors. First rule, when two vectors are acting in the same direction, the resultant vector is a new vector whose magnitude is the sum of the magnitudes of individual vectors and the direction is the same as that of given vectors. If A and B are displacement vectors as shown below, we had to find A plus B. What we had to do is we had to add the magnitude of these two vectors and the direction to be same as that of the individual vector. Here 15 plus 22 is 37 meter and the direction of the resultant vector to be towards the right. When two vectors act in the opposite direction, the resultant of the two vectors is a new vector whose magnitude is the difference between the magnitudes of the two vectors and whose direction is the same as the direction of the bigger vector. If A and B are displacement vectors as shown below, we had to find A plus B again. Here in this case, two vectors are in opposite direction. Then what we had to do is we had to just subtract the vectors. That means 15 meter minus 22 meter, which gives 7 meter. And the direction is very important. Direction of the bigger vector is towards left. Then the resultant vector gives the direction towards left. Then the third rule, when two vectors are inclined to each other or coplanar vectors. When two vectors are in a single plane and they are making a particular angle, then how we can find the resultant vectors? The sum of the two vectors can be obtained by using any of the following method. Here we have two methods. One is parallelogram method, another is triangular method. Parallelogram method. If two vectors acting at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by sides of a parallelogram drawn from that point, then the resultant is represented by the diagonal of the parallelogram. In the parallelogram method for vector addition, the vectors are translated. That means they are moved to a common origin and the parallelogram is constructed. Here the step-by-step analysis for the construction of the parallelogram is given. Here we are treating two vectors as the adjacent sides of a parallelogram. In first step, we have to take proper measurement, proper scaling for the vectors. And in step 2, if any angles are given, we have to draw the angle. We have to mark the angle using protractor. And we have to bring the vectors in such a way that they have to maintain a common origin. Parallelogram method, otherwise called tail to tail method. Then we have to construct a parallelogram. We have to draw parallel line corresponds to A and B. We can use compass as well. After that, we have to draw a diagonal. That diagonal gives the direction of the resultant vector. Note in mind, the diagonal to be drawn from the common origin. Here it is given in step 4. The resultant R is the diagonal of the parallelogram drawn from the common origin. One could also calculate the distance from the starting point using the formula. We can use the formula to find the magnitude of the resultant vector as R is equal to root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Here A and B are the magnitude of the individual vectors and theta is the angle between the vector A and vector B. Triangular method. If two vectors acting at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by sides of a triangle in order, then the resultant is represented by third side of the triangle drawn in reverse order. Example, if A and B are as shown, we have to find A plus B. First, we had to draw the vector A using proper scale. Then we had to draw vector B and bring vector B near to the head of vector A. Not in mind, in parallelogram method, we join tail of two vectors. Here we had to bring the tail of vector B near to the head of the vector A. That is the difference. After that, we have to draw the third vector and the third vector to be in reverse order. That means it had to maintain, the resultant vector had to maintain a reverse order. Here it's shown as A plus B, the direction of A plus B. Two vectors are acting perpendicular to each other. When adding perpendicular vectors, we had to use Pythagorean theorem. Here vector A and vector B, they are acting perpendicular to each other. Then we had to bring the head of the vector A near to the tail of the vector B, and we will get the resultant vector as C, and the magnitude of the resultant vector we will obtain by using Pythagoras theorem. A square plus B square is equal to C square, and we will get the resultant vector as C equal to root of A square plus B square. We can find out the direction after finding the tangent of the angle, that is opposite divided by adjacent side. We will get B over A here. Summary of today's class: definition for vector, definition for scalar. We discussed what is scalar and what is vector. We discussed some of the examples. After that, we learned what is a resultant vector, how we had to find resultant vector. Then in the case of coplanar vectors, we learned triangular method and parallelogram method to find resultant vector. Here we have two follow-up activities. One is assignment 7, another is assignment 8. That's all for today's class. Thanks for watching.